Alberto,
hello, I think we are live. There was a little misunderstanding here with the times, 6 or 6:30. I'm joking, we were late because of some technical issues. Sorry about that, but finally we are live. Welcome to INSTITUTO. Today we are hosting a talk by Alberto Pottenghi. Alberto is a good friend. We have been crossing our paths for over a decade or so. And Alberto is the co-founder of Mono Atelier, together with Mariana Sendas, a studio based in Milan and Porto. He has collaborated with the Accademia di Arquitetura di Mendrisio, with Valentin Beard, Eduardo Soto de Moura, and since 2012 with Francis Queré. For a few years, he led the Building Reality Construction workshop that takes place in various sub-Saharan countries, and he also has coordinated the Learning by Doing workshop, building several temporary structures for many public institutions, including the La Biennale di Venezia, etc. He's since 2018 a professor at the Introduction to the African Continent course at the Accademia di Arquitetura, or he was for a few years. And currently, Alberto is a research associate and tutor at the chair Architectural Design and Participation under the supervision of Francis Queré at the Technical University of Munich. And we are very, very glad to have Alberto here at INSTITUTO in Porto to share his experience over the last few years with students in workshops and some self-built construction experiences that are very interesting and helpful for our group who are here this week producing a project and installation in Bairro do Leal, a derelict neighborhood here in the city of Porto. So I hope we can all learn from Alberto's experience. Alberto, thank you again, and the floor is yours.
Ok. Boa tarde a todos. Vou falar. Obrigado Paulo pela introdução. Obrigado ao Instituto pelo convite. Vou falar em inglês, que acho que é melhor para todos. Mas então, since I received this invitation for this talk, actually I was thinking about okay, the workshop is focused on a suburb here in Porto, and then it is with some complexity. I would like to talk about the role of the architects in this part, and then for the last years I passed through exercises that I did first with students, and then for international workshop. So I started with this word that to me was very important. So what is empathy? Empathy, actually, we can read it here, like empathy is the capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing from within the frame of reference. That is the capacity to place oneself in another's position. So this is, of course, is very important for a human being, basically, but as us, as architects, we need to really train this since the academia, since the school. And then I want to show you in this quite incredible period now that of the pandemic, I would like to bring you around several places. We started actually where everything began at the Accademia di Mendrisio, when I started to teach with Francis Queré. And actually it was we were talking many times about what is important for teaching, and then all the design studio were focused on the community. And so the empathy is this a capacity of a human being to understand the problems and the lack of a certain site and the relative community. So here we see is the campus. Of course, here the programs are different, but we were training to understand what was the lack in this very close community, which is the student community. And so analyzing, we just found 4 sites actually, were to do small interventions with the students in a workshop that it took place here at the academia, and for 3 days and a half, let's say 4 days, we just thought and designed and built together with the students. And in this specific workshop, actually, we were collaborating with Clemens Berg, who is a very strong German artist and friend too. So, for example, we just, the site number 1 was this corner of this building, which is part of the Accademia Mendrisio. And then, as we see, like the sun exposition is very good, like it's very good, but actually there are no furniture, there are nothing that can allow people to sit, like sitting elements, something that could improve the experience on this site, and mainly is famous for shooting models or just resting and having a drink. But so thinking about this corner, like we have been to a dump, so we have no budget, we have no money, and we have been to a dump collecting, like in this case, pallets, and we built a very quick, like a sitting point. Actually, 3 days we built, and we just gave a different meaning to this. To this corner. Like another site, it was like there is an orchard in front of the bar. It used to be the bar of the academy. There is this orchard, and actually we started to think about how to enjoy more being through the leaves, from the trees, and we built this again. We've been to a construction site, and actually these are kind of donations of timber board that we use for this structure. As you can see, like there are some benches, but we wanted to do also a little pavilion, still in 3 days with no material, like almost nothing. And then at the end, so we can also think about how to leave this space in a different way, in a different height. Sometimes maybe for kids could be dangerous, but for students is very good. And then again, another site is the number 3, is on the back of the building. And actually this place, again, is very generous, where everything is happening. So a lot of events are happening, but at the end, during the daily routine, there are no actually elements to enjoy. And then we transformed, there was a ping pong table already there. And with the Clemens Berg, the artist, we transformed this like a multi-directional ping pong table that was not just to play, but also to start a play, like a game together, like a new game, a new rules, and interact. And in this time, it was also used as like a dining table. And then, like the last site, we were like in the courtyard of Palazzo Turconi, which is used to be the hospital, now is part of the academia, and now is refurbished into a library. And then here there was also this courtyard, but no sitting elements again, with these pallets, and we found in the dump a bathtub, and we use it to make a fountain. And then here we see like the constructions of it, like we just tried to reach the color of the ground with this pink, orange, and then the yellow, of course. This is like together in collaboration with an artist. But then like this part of small intervention, really like 3 days with nearly nothing, started to change. And actually the workshop was called Learning by Doing. So it was something in between a construction workshop and kind of getting into problematic, much more serious. Here we have this pavilion, Zoe, that was built also during this workshop, Learning by Doing. And actually, we faced another issue, which was like the refugee. At that time, we were 2017, and then the refugee was big wave, like arriving to Germany, mainly from Syria. And then, as you can see, it was really built up like a very fast refugee camp inside the temple of. This is like, I don't know if you are familiar with Berlin, but it's a airport that now is not used anymore. There are a lot of speculation on it, but in this case it was used as a refugee camp. And as we can see, all these boxes very efficient, but at the end they were living with a roof, 25-meter high roof. So this uncomfortable situation that we can see in these other two small images, where we can see that they started to build on their own own bed, a little like temporary shelter to reduce the height. So the height is also the perception of the height is kind of perception of the privacy. And then we started to do a pavilion again, 1 week this time, 1 week to build it, because we were following also all the regulations, firemen's regulations and everything else. We were in a public place again, and we started to think about how this pavilion could be, like using a model, like to be replicable, to be changed according to the site, and to be also shipped. Later on we will see. And then so the triangle, that can be the different layout. In this case we wanted to do something, a little kiosk together, and here we were studying the details of with different possibilities for the pillar. Here we see all the joints. And then this is a little axle just to see how the pavilion should be. And we started again, we built up a workshop there inside the temple of, and then it was part of the temple of, and we started to build it with the students very, very quick, and with the help of a carpenter, and to use machines, and then this was the result. Actually, you see, the most important things was the roof, and here we can see the modular, the triangle. It's a modular element that can be replaced, and then we have the cork as floor to be a little bit more comfortable, and then textile to make the roof. And as you can see, you can also play, and here you have kind of curtain that they can lift it up or leave it down. And as I told you, this layout could change actually with a little model. It can be also endless elements that can be replicated many times. And this actually is something that, as it was successful, has been successful, we did a donation to the temple to the refugee camp, and we left that pavilion. And this we were asked to build it again at the Biennale in Venice. So we did another workshop. This is kind of is an axle how it could be. So it's not anymore like a gathering point, but it can be a sitting element along the exhibition at the Biennale, the Arsenale. And here we see we were already working, cutting and building every single element. This picture is very clear for understanding the structure, how it was working, and how flexible it could be. And then we were very lucky to be supported by Quadrat, that actually he sent us all the textile that were not used at the beginning at the temple, but this one for making pillows. It's an exhibition, we have more money there. And then actually, as I told you, it was easy to be shipped. And this is what we have done to ship it to Venice, and this when we built it there. So actually, it's the same pavilion, but we have more time, a little bit more time to build it and to ship it. And so from Berlin, Switzerland, now we go to Africa, East Africa, here Mozambique. Still inside of the frame of the Academia di Mendrisio, we started to organize this construction workshop that from Burkina Faso, from West to East Africa. And in this case, I would like to show you two examples, two pavilions, two construction we have done there. And of course, I'm sure you know a lot about Mozambique. And here we see Maputo, capital city, and actually we were here in Benga. It's very, very hot place. And of course, I would like to talk to you about Pancho Guedes and all these things, but we have no time. And here, I would like to show you this area of where Tete is. Actually, is very famous. First, because it's on Zambezi River, and then all the exploration of Livingstone in Africa. It was famous, but not just for this kind of explorations. And this is the map of the coal exploration. Actually, this soil is very rich of coal, and there is a lot of investment from multinational companies from all around the world, actually, from China to Australia. And here we see how massive is the impact that these big mines are affecting, yes, the landscape. And so just to give you some data about Tete, this city is from the 80s, you see, from the 80s to 2000, it was doubling, more than doubling, almost 3 times. the populations where they started to arrive and to discover like how rich it was the soil, and then like it was like almost 4 times from 2000 to 2021, and then I was driven also from this. I found this project is a photographic project from Gregor Zilke, is a photographer from Berlin, who was really like doing a survey about the relocation of this community that were there where the coal mines are now. So they were relocated, and then but you know, like villages are in that place for a reason, because most of the time it's a very rich soil, or you are on a river, so you have resources. If you relocate this community in a place where the soil is not fertile, you have to buy food, you have to buy vegetables, and so there was like a big social problem, and showing like these little houses that were supported, given by the companies that were doing these relocations. But as you could see, like it's much better being outside. And then school is also instructions is also like a big, education is a big big issue, because people now need to buy food because they cannot grow food from the vegetable fields, and so they need to pay. Here we see another model with this little construction addiction for extension, which is a kitchen actually, because the house was not enough to allow people to live there. And here we see like Tabora Bassa, the big dam on the top, and then we see the Zambezi River that is running down, and then when it's meeting this city, which is Tete, and here we see this is the Portuguese part, which is, let's call it, is the old city, the more, let's say, formal. I don't know what's formal, what's informal, but here we see all the spontaneous development that was growing around the first part of the city. And actually, I would like to focus on this bottom part, where there is a bridge since 2014, supported by the Chinese government together with Mozambique, and Kassunde Bridge actually is passing by and is, of course, changing also the daily life of the people. But then, incredibly, like here we have the bridge, and here we have the village, and actually how this new road is changing the life of them is very strong, because actually we can see like here and all here we have mashamba are these vegetable gardens for supporting, as here we can see on the riverside. But then actually this road was exactly, we can see it here, this road is cutting the village from all this part of the riverside. So now I will explain you. So here the people, how the people live close to there, and the village, Benga, and here we see like it's quite a traditional village there, like with some construction made out of clay. And here we see like in yellow actually is the development. That's why also we ended up in this plot, because Francis Queré was developing worker housing there. And so we were there, and also a school. Later on, I will show you. And then here we have, with the red line, was exactly the road that the people, the community, the local community was doing to get to the Mashamba. And so, as you can see, like the road is cut in 2 parts. And what we wanted to do is exactly this blue point is the site of this pavilion that actually was working to link the old community, the local community, with the new one that will arrive in the future. So we started to work immediately with the students again. Here, I have to say that it's a 4 weeks workshop, more or less. It's a 6 weeks workshop. 2 is a trip where we visit Mozambique and cities and architecture. And then here we have 4 weeks constructions. As you could see at the end, we started to design this pavilion. Actually, it was already an idea, but actually we fix always the project once we are there, because we want the user, the future user, to be part of. We started to understand, to install a kind of participation. And here we have a round pavilion, and this is the square block actually is the size of a traditional house. And here we see like the structure of the roof. Here is a section. That's why like the land was not really flat, and then that's why also the project is according to what you are doing. Here we see actually it's very simple details, but because there are no resources, we couldn't use so much concrete, and also let's say that all the details were designed according to the availability of the market. So, and here I wanted to put this picture because it was very important. That's why, like, you need to know, you need to talk with the community, you need to start to install like a conversation. And this actually is the developer that was economically supporting the project itself. And then on the other side, we have the chief of the village. And after this agreement, we started to trace the building. Here we can see like with two different rays. At the end it was 8 and 12 meters, which we went for the biggest one, and then starting with foundation, like working with them, working with the community, starting to learn from them. And then like here again we see like the round, it was a sketch, of course. This was the sketch to explain how to do the foundation and all the ring beam. And again, we can see like with cyclopen concrete, which was, I mean, to save material and to save concrete. Here we can see it like during the construction. And here another sketch to understand how to make like the plinth of the, and here some mistake, you know, the rebars, you have to know, like you have to test. That's why it required time. And here is finally like a very good shopping place where you can see like all the elements, and you can do a lot. Actually, we were using iron because metal structure, because they were used to weld, for example, because the market started to change since the coal mines were established there, because to fix all the machines and to fix all the tools for working, they developed kind of skills. So you can talk with people, very simple people, that they are incredibly good in welding. And then so that's why here on the left we see we have the mold for the column, and here again the same details to understand. And we started to fill like the pavilion and this platform. And of course everything is done by hand as soon as you can. And here the structure was growing. Actually it's 8 pillar around plus one a central one, and here was already filled. Here we see the detail of this column with the plinth, and then being there, like you start to talk and to see like rural villages that are around the site. And here we discovered, because of the abundance of the coal, they were used to cook bricks, so no raw material, no adobe, nothing. They were cooking bricks, and here we can see the mold that they're using with the oven where to cook like the bricks. And here again, and here we can see that they started to build this and to put some plaster, like clay plaster. But we went to this incredible production of bricks that was owned by a Chinese lady. Incredible. Here we can see, which was close to our site. But just to show you that actually everything, of course, we need to adapt our design to the material available. And then in this case, we see like even the bricks are not cooked in the same way. Like there are part of it that are quite cooked black. And here again to understand this perforated bricks wall, like how to do it. And it was very funny to understand also like how it could structure. And here we see the pavilions finished. Actually it's never finished, because now they are bringing light inside, but the structure was there. Let's say that the infrastructure, there are no infrastructure, there is no light and water inside. It's just a shelter. It's not just, it's very important. It's a shelter that is providing shade, and this was incredibly happy, like all the community here. I don't know if you recognize the drawing of before, and you can see like that we really used like pieces of metal. We cut it and then we welded like to make this detail possible. And also on the side we have similar details. and then the bracement. And here we see, like at the end of the workshop, we were all together with the community, and here is the pavilion. As you could see, like we have this perforated wall, this perforated block with this small size, so the roof is much bigger than the closed part, but this was the goal. And then still the same place in 2018, we came back, different issue, different program, and we were facing here we can see like this is the main road. Here is our pavilion that was built already, and then I will show you what happened later on. And here we see like a new presence, which is the school designed by Francis Queret. And then we were there, like when exactly was almost at the end. We can see it here, another picture. And then here it was the opening of the school at the same time. But as the school was open, we also started to talk with the teachers that were there, and actually there was this need that we were talking about, like about teacher housing. But then we started to understand that they normally go to school, and it takes maybe, I don't know, like 1 hour, because it's 12 kilometers. 15 kilometers by walking. They need to cross the new bridge and they arrive in this new place. So we've been spending some time with them, and we've been doing a survey. Where do they live? Like where the professor live? And with these incredible pictures of Luca Peruzzi, we've been there, and we really understood that they live, of course, they live in this in one room house at the end, where a corner is a kitchen, and of course they are enjoying being outside, and they sleep in the same place. And also understanding also the market, how much it costs. It could be like a house like that. We started to also make like questions or like wheels of the teachers. And here we started again with all the material we got from the survey to think about the house. And to think about the house, here we can see like we have the new development, the school, the road, our pavilion that was the link with the community. And here we see the first prototype that we designed. Actually, the design started because we wanted to do row houses. And here we could see, like you can join, of course, this is the water part in the layout of the house. And here we see very, very simple. And this is the entrance from here. And then you have basically like two esplanades. You stay outside here, and you have the view on the river, and you arrive here. And what was very important, all the passive systems, and how do you place the opening in such a small house that could be like for a family, like a simple a single teacher, like a couple, and also like with a kid, it could work easily, and then it can be adapted also for two kids. We have a small kitchen and the toilet here with ventilated roof and a little corner. And here we have the section, and here we see again how always like with this perforated wall to let the air passing through. And here like we have this little axle to understand how the construction is. And here a detail, because again, to save money, like windows were a big part of it, of the budget. So we started to develop this kind of opening that is like a wooden box with a mosquito net. And then when you have money, you can put like a glass later on. And we started again with models to understand and to develop this prototype. And then a different scale, doing models. Also, students were very, very good in it. And with nothing, we just built all these kind of models, and we started to talk to them. We started to talk and to exchange like ideas about like how it could be. And you cannot imagine how they were surprised to see that someone could design 4 little models. And then this direct way to explain the project, it works incredibly good. And so we started again, working hard. Again, here is still 4 weeks. And so then you will see actually a part of the roof was missing at the end, but we started to do foundation, plinth, and here the wall. And you cannot even imagine like how difficult it is to build a wall. It's not easy. And then for a student, it was very shocking, but we learned a lot. Of course, we were helped by 2 professionals that were helping us, explaining us how to work, how to build every single pieces. Here by hand, we were doing the reinforcements for the beam. And then, of course, we had a flood. This was the only problem, that we always have like a very, very tight frame to build that, and we wanted always to go away with something built, nothing that could be left half, that nobody knows who is gonna take care of it. We were talking about maintenance later before, and this is very, very important. And here we can see, like again, like working nighttime, running out of time, but at the end we were able to submit. And then sometimes, when you're running and everything doesn't work, so the pump in the well close to the construction site was not working, so we started to brought water like by hand. And then here, very tired, the building was almost finished. And here we can see the detail of the perforated wall. Also the floor were made out of bricks. That it was a resource that was quite people were confident with it. And then here the final production, actually what happened is this one. And then here the group of the student that applied for the workshop, and again another image. But we were really, really surprised to see that the pavilion in the meantime, in just more than 1 year and a half, was changed already. They painted all the columns, of course, like as a protection, but then they were starting to using it in different way. So our idea at the beginning could not reach actually these imaginations. And we also were there, like they were celebrating like events, party, and using it for this at the end of the day or during the day, or the people working on construction site, or they were passing by the main road, they were having a nap, or they were like laying down to enjoy the shadow. And as you can see, and the brick is not that uncomfortable how it could be, and so on. And at the end, we also decided to print out pictures that we took the year before. We were there with Luca Peruzzi, the photographer, and then we just built up this setup for a very quick exhibition with nearly nothing again. But then, it became a small exhibition center, exhibition pavilion. And then I like this sentence also to get deeper and to understand the link that there is also from Europe, Africa, Mozambique, Italy, in this case, Giancarlo De Carlo, that this quote, like the effort to organize and giving shape to physical space will continue to be a requirement, urgent and human passion. But in order to not to die, architecture will have to involve those who directly or indirectly use it. So I think it's very important to act in this very, very fragile environment. And then actually everything started from this project. This is a project that I followed together with as Mon Atelier with Marianne Sendas, and we were invited by the University of Antwerp for an international design workshop. And so in the city of Antwerp, we see like this is the city center, and they were like organizing this workshop in this part of the city, which is called Luchtbau, and it's part of it, and it's very, very affected by the construction of a big highway, and the railway is passing by. And this was like a social suburb that was built in the 54. And as you could see, like we have a very modernist building, like the towers on the top, and here on the bottom we have these long buildings that actually I would like to share with you also, like what sometimes is the will of the architect, of the idea, of the dream, like this very nice drawing collage that was showing this plan live, like the ground floor and the park and all the passage, and people could be free to go everywhere. But the reality is different. And today we have this one. We have a very, very strong building, and this is like the garden that should be open to the people. But now it's locked. There is a fence all around, so people cannot use it. And so at the end, there is no like there are no exit, like emergency exit. You know, you live here, you stay here. It's very huge, very long building, and so we should learn also like how to judge, let's say, modernism. And here we have another picture that for us was very important, because how this site is very like I mean, this presence of infrastructure like concrete, it was very there. It was changing the aspect of the suburb itself. And here we did a little survey about how like the rate of unemployment. We see Val is very high, and just to understand where we are, and also like share social housing comparing to the other side, the other part of Antwerp is very high. And here actually we have a project that is I think is going on, and we have on this side we have all the new project, which is a big green belt, and actually our suburb is this one, and we can see from this model how like the station, which is here, is very crucial. It's a very strong link to the new project, to the new, let's say, landscape connected to the existing one, very, very harsh. And then here we have the survey. We have started to understand what this station, how it was important, and we realized that it was incredibly strong, and actually was not, has been done and designed as an infrastructure, maybe with a further development, but in this stage is very naked, and let's say, and the concrete is everywhere strong, and you are like in a big machine. At the end, you have the connection to the rails, these big stairs, and you can see like they're bringing up there. And then on the other part, on the contour part of these stairs, you have these dead places, this dead side that we discovered there, and then I said, wow, what is, and then this one in the design, in the original design, probably was, I mean, it was for an extra stair, like to connect to the rails, and then they just put a wall, but this wall is provoking like a different effect. So it's not a niche, so where people can put like trash on the other side of the wall, like before taking the train, catching the train, and or it can be used as a pissoir, as we can see here, like with this wall, and so we started to understand that there were no sitting elements on this platform waiting for the train. And then Antwerp is very, very windy place. It's cold in winter, and it's not very very nice to be outside. So we started again with sketches and started to understand what could be possible to build there. And together with a very small group of students for 5 days, we have been working very hard, coming out with a little design at the end. After the survey, we just put it on CAD. Of course, these drawings were done mostly at the end, but here we can see already that in our idea, it was the idea was to exactly to put like a sitting element, like at the end in this dead place, in this dead corner, and then in this way with a long roof, it's like 20 meters long roof, you can create like a kind of unity together with the volume of the stairs. So connecting what it was, now is the end of a very big and monumental space. Before there was just a niche that was not used. So we started to build like a build model to understand all the codes and what was important to do. Here we see again like the little model that is showing already like what it will be the project, but it was fundamental to understand. And then here we see like it's a little structures, as we were talking, as your workshop is also about, like about small interventions, small structures, limited resources. And here we see like with the big textile that is connecting. And here very simple details. Actually, we were buying material, we were changing the details according to, again, Africa, Antwerp, it's the same things. If you have to do something that when you have like a very limited resources. And here we have this this model, which is 1 to 5, that has helped us to understand exactly the structure, because at this scale you can already understand, and more or less even the textile, the fabric that we use was exactly that one. And again, like understanding the material, what does it mean in a very, very strong, like a very, in a city where the weather is so strong and the wind is very, very impressive. So we started to bring this sail, and we were very lucky to don't lose some of them. And then here again, checking different materials and working in this apartment, and also like how strong it was. Actually, we choose this fabric, this textile, like it's a plastic. That's the one that they use in the construction site. And so available, like you can have like this size. So we were also somehow lucky to have the same size, more or less the same of the niche. And here we were again starting to build this one-to-one mock-up. Before building the project itself, we started to build this mock-up of the sail, because that was the key, and it was very important to understand how, you know, how strong has to be the anchor to the wall. And that's why also in the design, and here we can see like this in the design we really use the existing wall. So that's why I would like also to do a kind of parallel with your workshop, something that is existing that you can really develop and change the meaning of that object. And in this case, we have already like an image that is showing very close to what the project is going to be. And then here we see that we also, with just few things, also little color, like we just choose the color that we found, and then it's the same one of the plate that are on the railways, and then somehow it was linked to the suburb. And then here the first bench that was finished, and Mariana was testing it. As you could see, like here, it looks that it's hanged very strongly, but the wind was blowing in and was keeping and was changing the shape all the times. And here you see like how this big sail actually is a flexible roof. It's a very soft roof. It's 20 meters soft roof that is changing all the time. And in a very, very strong gallery, as it is this one, like made out of concrete, very strong, is putting somehow, like it's softening like the environment. And this is the way down, like from the stairs. Again, you see how this big sail is kind of dancing, and then it's changing all the time. And then we put the light is on the back. I mean, the light was already there. We just put it in front. And then here we see how also the light was part of the installation. It became like a big lamp, because actually the light was reflected down to the, and so sometimes when you do something, you have unexpected effect. And then it was so interesting to discover that actually I'm not speaking Flemish, but Luchtbaan is Luchtbaan is the name of the suburb, and actually was, if Luchtbaan is it means balloon, air balloon, warm air balloon, the one that you can use to fly. And actually in the end of the 19th century, like a air balloon arrived there, and then for a mistake it was a military air balloon, and actually it took the site that the suburb was taking the name from this event. But it's nice because at the end in our project we use the air. We use the air to change, and actually the air is part of the design, because the wind is part of the design that is changing all the time. And then so we started to call it Luchtbaan, which is like a balloon, air bench. And so like I think that I put this image thinking about what you're doing now, also to see like, they went to, I don't know, like to a dump, they found all the books that they put it there in this little corner. They just cut some flowers from a roundabout, I don't know, somewhere, gardens of the suburb, and then they put it there. And just with a little things that you can do a lot. If everyone are really like participating together, you can really do a lot. And this is one of the images at the end that was very loose here. There was no wind. And again, another picture that is showing how simple was the construction and how fast it can be and how fast it can be changing a place. And as you can see, we have exactly this wall that was part of the design, and our light wooden structure was installed on it. And here, actually, I think Yes, I think this should work as a video. Not really. Paolo, maybe?
Space.
No. Okay. Okay. And actually here I put two videos, but are not visible anyway. I will put it at the end, so maybe I can go out. Sorry.
From the PDF.
Yeah. Well, before it was going. Anyway, I think I can put it here. No, okay, anyway. So I share again. No, it's not working with the video.
That's annoying. It was working.
Yeah. Okay, happens. Anyway, so I would like to finish the presentation with this sentence. Actually, let me do this at least. I know. Okay, and is it shared?
There should be something at the top saying share.
Okay, and now I share the screen with this last sentence. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we had the luck to work after the first building reality workshop at the Academia, to work and to collaborate with the philosopher, Roberto Mancini, who wrote a text about this workshop in specific. But at the end, I think that it is working for all you have seen today, and then more or less in this kind of workshop where you are looking for participation, where you're looking for sharing and to try to have this empathy, to understand the site and the community who lives the site. So building reality is not the same as manufacturing something artificial. Here, building is creatively responding to the silent invitation that comes from the possibilities of communion inherent in a territory and the community that lives there. So, thank you very much.
Hi.